Ta-da! There's everyone. I'm just showing Zoom.
Oh yeah. That's
Perfect.
Perfect. Cool. So,
All right.
Q&A.
So Scurvy Dogs, if you will help us pick some questions, I'll be watching too. The first one I saw was, how did Neal get so sexy?
Cool.
How do you do it?
It's all that laying down and standing up, right?
Keep moving, guys. If you stop moving, you die. Basically, gotta keep your blood moving. And take dance classes. There you go.
Good advice.
Neal knows how to waltz.
I am a ballroom instructor for.
I can vouch for that.
Nice.
Neal and I
Nice.
D&D's waltzed one time, which is like super sexy waltz.
Sure.
I have one that
Okay.
says D&D only. Do you play any other RPGs? I want to answer that because I also play Cyberpunk. So
What's
Yes.
cyberpunk?
it's a universe that's in the future, but it's only in 2020, and we're in 2013. So it's pretty ridiculous now. But it's all like runner blade stuff, and we have weapons, and it's basically D&D in the Cyberpunk universe.
Didn't you have also experience? I don't know if I should call you Margaret or Luperza or
Just come up with a name, whatever.
Maggie.
Girl with purple hair.
Girl, girl, don't you have D&D experience, girl?
Oh no.
You never played?
Oh, what was the question? I didn't hear a question.
Oh, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh yeah, I play a lot. I used to actually play every Monday before PlanetSide 2 started getting really big, and we actually had to kind of cut it off because our our tech lead, Ryan Elam, was my DM at the time, and so when he got that position, he kind of had to quit being a DM, and I had to start working like a bajillion hours a week, so I wasn't really able to play anymore. But yeah, I played a lot.
Freaking
And-
work, man, getting in the way of games.
Yeah, and then also in high school, every Sunday, me and my group of friends always played. So
What were your characters before?
Yeah, what's your favorite character ever you played?
my favorite character ever, I really had fun playing a halfling rogue in one of the campaigns, and then the other campaign I was playing a cleric, which was kind of like I didn't really want to play the healer, but I ended up coming into that late, so everyone already picked the classes, and I was like, whatever, I'll do it. So
What were their
it was
names?
actually kind of fun. Yuria was my dwarf's name. I was a dwarf cleric, and then the other character was, I'm trying to remember her name. I know her last name was Shadow Swan, but I can't remember her first name now. It's been a while.
Shadow Swan.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, here's some. The Scurvy Dogs picked some for us. Neal, what would be initiative to jump on someone's back, like to try and get the constable down? I think what they mean is like, what would you have to roll?
I would say same as normal attack, like a normal melee attack. I would say it's no different than trying to punch someone. Maybe a little bit different. So D8 plus 3, and then minus whatever your bonuses are for high dex.
That one was from Wisdom, by the way. Another question is from M. Firelord. Neal, will the one-shot creature be in Misscliks anytime soon?
Why
don't
would
know
I
what that
answer that
is.
question for you? No, I'm never going to answer that question. No spoilers about the
What
future, kids.
was the one shot?
No, that doesn't matter. We don't have to discuss it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Let's keep the mystery the mystery.
So now
All right,
I have to
here's-
do research. I need the immunity to whatever
To
this
the
is.
internet.
What does Margaret's character look like?
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
can you describe her for us?
Yeah, I actually wrote up a whole bunch of stuff. For her appearance, she has red hair, green eyes. She's about medium height, slender, fair skin. Pretty simple, just half elf,
Nice.
half human.
Oh, nice. Me too.
And I have red hair too.
Is it curly or straight?
Oh, wavy.
Nice.
But I think I have it up most of the time because I'm doing archery.
Ooh, archery. So, like, what does your outfit and weapons look like?
I actually don't know. What did you dress me in, Neal? Like, what kind of clothes are you
I didn't
wearing?
dress you at all. I let you dress yourself.
Oh,
Apparently, I'm wearing leather armor.
Yes, you have leather armor.
So-
That's about all. That's as far as I went.
You know, take that wherever your imagination takes you.
Okay. Next question is from Munius. Neal, do you know if there is some way to join a D&D community online, not necessarily with you, but just with other people?
There are ways to do this.
Yes.
Yes, there are ways. I don't know what they are, but there are ways. You check the Roll20 forums, the Obsidian Portal
Check the
forums.
Reddit D&D.
Check Reddit D&D. Check. There's a couple of Reddit D&Ds. There's, I think if you Google D&D online or join online D&D game, you might be able to find something. But I don't.
What Neal meant to say was, let me Google that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one from Grumsh. That's a cool name. Just wondering, what was the idea behind each character you decided to make? Why a monk for Faye? Why a mage for Lily? Rogue for December? What motivated everyone to make their current character?
Good question.
So I can speak to like the party. We really, none of us aside from Jen had ever played D&D before. So a lot of us were like, hey, Neal, what's a good mix to have in a party? And he gave us kind of a couple ideas of breakdowns of like what kinds of classes we might want to include. But in true Neal fashion, he would never really commit. Like he never really told us what we should do.
I don't like that phrasing.
Well, you know what I mean. He didn't tell us what to do is the point. We had to pick for our own. So
That's a good thing, Neal.
Yeah, it's really
I think
good.
It's good
I'm
when
trying
a
to say
DM
it's a
can
good thing.
adapt to like whatever the party wants, rather than like making them play specific roles.
And in Neal's case, it's good that he doesn't allow us to make him tell us what to do. Like, because we're always like, what should we do all the time? And that's not good. So we ended up picking from like a variety of classes. And at least in my case, my impulse is always to be a magical, ranged, like that kind of character. So I figured that for this, I would try something new. And we figured that a pirate ship should probably have a thief. So I picked thief and somebody who was not necessarily, like I'm still a little bit ranged, but I don't have any magic, which is really rare for me in games. Like I always pick the magic character. So, and then in keeping with that, once I rolled my stats, I kind of just really was immersed with the idea of role playing a character that would be nothing like myself, that would make decisions unlike what I would make, because that's what's so fascinating to me about D&D. So then I'm getting into her backstory, which I don't know if that's part of the question or not, and I should let other people talk, but that's why I picked thief, because I wanted to have a little bit of something to keep me comfortable, which is like the range. But then I also wanted to be kind of different than what I normally play. Who wants to go next?
Just so you know, a rogue wizard combo is freaking awesome.
Neal said I couldn't be a. He said I couldn't be a thief
on.
and a wizard.
Nope.
Which is fine.
Why not? Well, you guys are
You
playing
can
like
be
a
a wizard and a thief, though.
Yeah.
What about you, Steph?
Well, okay, so in my other campaign, I started a healer, and in this campaign, I actually didn't mind. So when you guys all picked stuff, it turned out we didn't have any fighter. And while you guys were still deciding whatever you wanted to do, I'm like, hey, I would really love to do like someone's really specialized in like close combat. And then I suggested a monk, and from what I was reading, there was no monk in the second edition, but Neal was like, you know what, I'll make it happen. And we made a monk together.
It just happened. Specially created just for Faye.
Stephanie was probably one of the easiest because she was like, whatever you guys don't want to do, I'll fill in the hole. It was really nice. And all of us were like, no, I really want this, or I really want that.
I was really excited for that monk too, so turned out okay.
What about you, Jen?
Yeah, usually I think in games I would play a ranger. So I wanted to do something different. And in roleplay I already picked thief. So I figured I should do something completely different. So the furthest away from thief I thought would be a wizard. Because I also saw kind of the healer things with Tadagub, so I figured I'd go as far away from what I know as possible. And I found out that I really like playing magical characters because you can like pick spells at the beginning of the day, and it's really cool to try to like make puzzles in your head for like how you can use them. So I'm really excited to play wizard. I think cleric would be fun too. But if I had to pick another new character, I'd probably pick fighter, because then it would be also like super far away from what I'm used to, because I'm used to like far combat, and wizard is far combat pretty much. Making Lily, I was just trying to come up with some kind of like one thing about her that would like make my character stand out. So I was kind of changing ideas between either a necromancer or a fortune teller, and then I kept going through the two, and then I picked fortune teller because I thought it was more interesting. Necromancer could have been fun, but I don't know. I picked fortune teller for this time. Actually, I wanted to do a shaman necromancer.
Shamans are awesome. I think they're fun to play. I only got to play a shaman for like one session in a D&D campaign, and it was still pretty fun.
What does a shaman do as opposed to?
It depends on the edition that you were in. Like 4th edition, shamans are really weird. Like I had a pet that I would like do things through. Like they were actually the ones tanking. Like he was a bear, so he would tank and stuff and do damage, and I would kind of like chill back there. It was
Nice.
It's really weird, but it's kind of cool. It was like a spirit pet, and then you have like totems and stuff that you can use. It's pretty cool.
That was my original impulse, is to be some sort of wizard that deals with like nature and animals and that kind of stuff, because that's more like me in real life, than I'm all hippie like that. But so that was that was good that I was pushed not to do that, because it's been so cool how your character just becomes somebody that is not you. Like someone was asking me something about December, and I realized in my head I kind of have to like ask her. Like I can't just speak for her. I have to ask her what she would do or think, and she's a little bit erratic, so it's been very, very entertaining. What about you, Maggie? I guess like you can't reveal too much about your character yet because we don't know too much about your character, but maybe like for people who have never created a character, can you talk about what it was like to create a guest character with Neal?
Yeah, so it was pretty much, he kind of let me have freedom in whatever I wanted to play as well. So he didn't tell me what to do. And I already kind of knew what you guys were doing and where you guys were and kind of the environment that you were in. So I kind of tried to play upon that and then let him kind of figure out where he wanted to put me. But I really love making characters because it's the most fun part to me is like coming up with these stories. Like you were saying, like you kind of come up with these ideas of like who this character is, and you have to put yourself in this persona. It's kind of like acting, which I never thought like I'd really be into. But now that I've kind of played D&D so much, I think about it like, oh, I could probably do that. That'd be fun. So you kind of write these stories. And for me, I'm a writer, so I love it. And in the past, I've always written like a lot, like kind of like journal logs of everything that we've done in the past with any of my campaigns. So I just kind of took it that route.
Oh, cool.
Fun. But I'm totally like more of a hippie in this game. that's as much of a hint as I'll give away.
This is kind of an interesting question from. Oh, I lost it. Oh, another one from Munius or Munias. Or no, that's not it. Where is it? Monkey Larry. Neal, do you ever get a chance to play as a player instead of the DM?
Not in a long time.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, of course I miss it. I haven't played as a player since 2009. So
Yeah.
Way less stressful, by the way.
so much less stressful. It's a totally different environment. But I like DMing because then I'm always involved, and I'm never like, earlier it was December and December and Lily who were like peering in through the window, and then Faye and Eliana were like kind of waiting in the back. Margaret's like waiting. Okay, I know where I am, but it's not my turn yet. I kind of have to wait for the story to. As a DM, you're always involved. You're always in the center of the action, and on top of that, you get to control so many characters, and you wield so much power. It's. I don't know.
He's like, wah, 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 wah.
It's very ego stroking to be the DM, so I'm okay with taking it.
A lot of people always ask, like, is it overwhelming or is it stressful being particularly our DM because
Yes.
we kind of like sass you a lot?
Yes.
So is it like, should we not
it's not
sass
over.
you so
No.
much?
What we have going
That's
now
normal.
is great.
Every campaign has that.
Yeah, there's
Everyone like there are people who hardcore argue with the DM, even though it's like whatever the DM wants is gonna happen.
Yeah,
like,
they're God,
no matter what you
basically.
think.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There was
They're like trying to quote rules and shit.
There was a time where we had a campaign going, and my friend we were fairly high level, and he somehow or another was like riding on the back of a dragon who didn't want him on the back of it, and the dragon was like trying to get him off. And so I said, okay, so like the dragon like starts to do a barrel roll and tries to scrape you against the trees as he does it. And then he's like, no, that's physically impossible. That doesn't make sense. And we spent like 45 minutes at my girlfriend's house in her living room yelling about dragons scraping people off their backs in front of her parents. It was great.
Yes.
And in the end, I eventually acquiesced and said, fine, he can't do that. He does this instead. And it was okay. But usually we yell about the rules and stuff a lot. So I don't mind the talking back. I don't mind the questioning. Like, no, I should totally be able to blah, blah. That's fine. That's totally fine. Question me all you want. I will push back the harder that you push forward. So it'd be great.
And I think you are fair in that you do acquiesce sometimes. Like, I remember the swimming thing. I was like, no, that's not how you swim, Neal. And then you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, if you make a reasonable argument that makes sense, I will listen.
I respect that.
Yeah.
And like the skinning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
Like,
crocodile
I
teeth.
totally skinned the deer or something.
Yeah.
I believe you. I don't think you're gonna lie to me about this stuff.
So I guess there's a lot of questions about like backstory. Someone was asking about like deities for our characters and things. And so we can't be too meta because we can't reveal things that haven't already been revealed in game. So sorry again, Maggie, this is one that kind of like you can't say too much about. But I guess do you guys want to give like a really quick backstory rundown for people who may not have been here for our first episodes and stuff?
It's a good idea.
Let's go.
Okay.
I wrote it all down on reddit.com/Misscliks.
Yeah, all of the backstories should be around there on our subreddit too, if you wanted to check them out. But
I don't think I've updated my sheet once.
Mine is super long and detailed. I updated it every week.
I'm sure Maggie can actually give quite a bit of her back, like whatever she would be willing to tell your characters in the next like 20 minutes of the game once you leave the building. Like she's going to introduce herself very shortly. We might as well just do it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I need to know like how much I'm gonna divulge into this. I don't know how much I would give. Like it depends on what happens, you know.
I mean, feel free to lie your heart out to them.
If you can, I could give them the whole thing if people can like take their character.
we could take our headsets off. Yeah, we'll take our headsets off. You wave at us when we're done. When you're done.
Sure. I mean, if you want to do that.
Yeah, it sounds
I mean,
good.
Aw,
cool.
this is
Can I use that time into pee?
Do you want me to do it all then? Just say everything?
Well, then the chat knows it too. So that's unless because then our audience will know, and you don't get to reveal it slowly.
That's true. So maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I
Whatever
just
you
shouldn't
want
say
to do.
anything.
Whatever you want to do.
I can give away my class, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys can probably. I'm guessing people have already guessed because I saw some people in chat say it actually.
If you're an archer, I
Yeah.
guess.
I don't know where you could ever think I am. So yeah, I'm a ranger. I like animals and nature.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hippies.
hippies. I'm a hippie. Yeah, kind of. But I kind of just like lived on my own for quite a long time. And there's a sad story with that. Maybe you'll find out.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Lily, you want to give yours?
my backstory.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna look a little bit at what I wrote. I guess I won't say physical, so I'm gonna say backstory. So Lily revealed she grew up following a traveling circus named the Fortunate Crystal alongside her family, including her parents and a brother who she didn't name. She said she was blessed with the ability to tell fortune, and that her parents were really bad at it. They were the worst from the circle. She also mentioned Pimper Neal Goodbody, the circus bully and the best divinator. And she said it's why she left the Fortunate Crystal, and she stole his 2 crystal balls while she left. She didn't say what happened exactly or why she left her friends and family behind. she thinks the world is pretty rough with her because she's a halfling and people are not very nice, and she keeps getting ridiculed by people she meets. It affects her quite a bit, and she kind of gets emotional about it. She tries not to. And one time her feet were mentioned, and she got pretty upset. She
Is it 'cause
also,
they're hairy?
I don't know. You guys didn't check her feet.
That's gross. You
Um,
need to clean your feet.
She really, I didn't tell it, but it's kind of tellable. She's like seeking knowledge a lot. People didn't see her tattoos a lot, but a lot of them are spells written in human and in halfling. What else? She really liked Francis. She tends to be late to fights because she runs really slowly. Distracted, and she once pretended to be a lady. So yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and she really hates ferrets, and Pimpernel has one.
There's Dana.
Yay, Dana.
Yay.
You guys want to finish the backstory thing before we get back? Or do we? I guess since we already told Lily's, we should review.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we can take a break all at like one at a time as the others say the backstories.
Maybe.
We're gonna need a 3-minute break though, so I guess.
Yeah.
Just say
Let's
your.
just do it quick.
Yeah, just do it quicker than what I did. It was
Okay.
time.
I'll go since looks like Stephanie. Unless Stephanie, do you want to go now? Oh, she can't. She's got something wrong. Okay, I'll go while she figures that out. So December is fairly close-lipped, but they did get her drunk on the first episode, and she revealed that she grew up in I guess you might call it, well, it's an order, I guess, of assassins called the Nameless Ones. I can hear your popsicle, Dana. The traditional popsicle. The Nameless Ones are an order of assassins. They are super secret, so nobody's supposed to know about them, but of course December's running her mouth and changing all of that. They take in children, so December never really knew her parents. She just got dropped off there, or she doesn't know how she got there, but she never knew her parents. She just grew up there. And every year, you're in training from being a kid to be this like covert assassin and all the skills you need to be an assassin. So every year they get tested, and you're only known to them by the month in which you get tested. You're not, you don't really have a name other than that. They just call you by the month. You're just organized. It's like a number, basically. So the only name she's ever had is December, but there were other Decembers in her order as well. She didn't really ever have a name, so that's what she goes by. She has really erratic actions, and that annoys some people, but the obvious reason for that is that she's grown up her entire life just in this order that has taught her only their belief system, which she hasn't really gone into in detail, but she constantly is asking questions about balance, like what is a reason for killing somebody versus not killing somebody. She has lots of questions about love and relationships and friendship, although she can mimic those things completely convincingly because she's been trained as basically like an actress assassin. She doesn't really understand them or how they work or how they motivate people. She can only mimic them. And so those are the kind of things that she hasn't really gone into completely, but I think have been revealed by her actions. But there's a lot more to her backstory that I really want to tell you, but I'm not going to. So
That's how I feel about my whole story.
yeah, exactly. Hopefully it will come to light soon. And she's very attached to Lily because in like the first couple episodes, Lily was like, yeah, we're friends. And December was really excited about that. So she pretty much does whatever Lily tells her most of the time.
I got a minion.
Growing up in a place that was so highly regimented, and since my character sheet is public, having 6 willpower, she isn't one to not be told what to do, I guess. Although she is decisive in a lot of ways. Anyway, so Stephanie, want to give the backstory of Faye? Sorry, that was kind of long.
You guys suck. You're thinking.
I know, I'm so sorry. I get excited. I can't stop
I'm just
talking about
kidding.
her.
I'm just kidding. Well, there's not much you guys know about Faith so far, except that her brother is sick. She's 16 years old, and she has black hair, like braids, long braids, and that's about it. She's super quiet. She prays a lot, like this, and sometimes she snaps. When she snaps, it's deadly. And it's really weird because it's kind of against the monks, where monk people, they don't kill randomly. They kill just those that deserve. That's it.
Eliana, do you want to share your backstory or whatever of it you would like to share?
Stuff that you already shared, basically.
Sure. Basically, my character comes from an elvish kingdom that's like in the north, and I am a cleric, so I have healing abilities and nature-like abilities. And how I kind of came into this group was I was banished from my homeland because I used dark magic to get revenge on the person who killed my lover. So basically, I am a dark cleric. I have like long golden hair and glowy eyes and tattoos, and I basically sought to get revenge on the guy who killed my lover by doing dark magic, which is not allowed in my kingdom. And so when they found out that my family and everyone banished me from there, and my personality is I'm very mean and rude and not very friendly. I don't have very much charisma, but I am very revengeful and angry, and even though I act so selfishly and so angrily towards everyone, I eventually just end up helping everyone in the end and being nice somehow. But otherwise, that's kind of my backstory and my craziness.
My character shares a little bit of anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll notice that I don't give a shit and I don't care and I don't talk a lot. It's just because to me, it's like, I just want to get this shit over with and kill everyone, and then, yeah. Like.
Okay, so that was our brief Q&A. Dana made it home with her fancy new mic and headset. Yay! And we're going to take
No
like
more
a
gnomes.
3-minute,
3-minute break, yeah.
and then we'll be back to the story. So if you're just joining us, D&D gameplay starts in 3 minutes.
Yep. See you guys in 3.